Happy Friday. We are back for another episode of the Tech Behind FinTech. I'm the host, your host, Nnamdi Osuagwu of the Tech Behind FinTech. Always excited to be here and looking forward to sharing some great news with you guys. On our show, as you know, we talk about the technology behind FinTech. And we talk about, news events, things that are happening within the FinTech industry and also crypto industry. And at last, we cover a security topic. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the news. All right, let's see. And always to let everyone know, we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch. We're also live from Instagram. And anyone on Instagram, if you're seeing behind the scenes, but if you want to partake in the show with comments and questions and so forth, and also look at some of the screenshots and presentations that we put on, please go to the website techbehindfintech.com, and from there you can watch it live on YouTube and get the full experience. Okay, on that note, let's get into what is popping today, or this week, mind you. All right, so the first article we want to cover, U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, otherwise known as Cfpb, fines Bank of America $10 million for illegal garnishment. So let's get into it. The CFPB says BOFA, that's Bank of America for short, unlawfully froze customers' accounts, charged garnishment fees, and sent payments to creditors based on out-of-state garnishment court orders that should have been processed under the laws and protections of the states where the consumers live. Garnishments are a way for creditors to claw back debt through automatic, usually court-ordered collections against an individual's payer account balance. The CFPB also alleges Bank of America inserted unfair and unenforceable language into customer contracts that limited their rights to challenge the garnishments. Let's see what else is going on. So, so the BOFA spokesperson says that we have enhanced our process to ensure compliance with all applicable state laws as we execute court orders. As part of this agreement, we will refund associated fees to customers involved in approximately 3,700 cases. The bank claims it processed approximately 1 million garnishment court orders over a 5-year period from 2011 to 2016. Also note, Bank of America is the second largest bank in the U.S. and has 4,100 branches across the country. It has been designated a global, systematically important bank by the Financial Stability Board. As of December 2021, it had 2.5 trillion in consolidated assets. Also in 2014, the CFPB ordered Bank of America to pay $727 million in redress to its victims for illegal credit card practices. So it's not the first time the bank's been fined. All right. What is going on next? Let's talk about next. All right. So listen, if you've been following the crypto markets, also in the stock markets too, volatility has been insane. But we're not going to talk about the stock market right now. We're going to talk about more so on the crypto side. So more than 200 billion erased from the entire crypto market in a day as sell-off intensifies. So yesterday, the price of hey, getting family messages out of here. I love it. Look, hi, cuz. Hi, Yuri. Thanks for shouting me out. I appreciate you. All right, so so the price of Bitcoin plunged 20 to 26,000 on Thursday, hitting the lowest level in 16 months. Ethereum went below 2,000. So the collapse is, the stablecoin TerraUSD has led to fears of a broader contagion. So, last week we saw dips, and the Fed increased the interest rate and things like that. That impacted, among other things. I'm not going to get into the financial aspects of that, but obviously we saw a lot of market impact and volatility, but this week was total wipeout, right? A lot of sell-offs, a lot of things. So let's get into like why some of that let's get into why some of that has occurred, right? And you can see a few things, as I mentioned, right? Investors are fleeing from cryptocurrencies at a time when stock markets have plunged from the highs of the coronavirus pandemic on fears of soaring prices and deteriorating economic outlook. U.S. inflation data out Wednesday showed prices for goods and services jumping 8.3% in April, higher than expected by analysts and close to the highest level in 40 years. Also weighing on traders' mind is the downfall of embattled stablecoin protocol Terra. Terra, or UST, is supposed to mirror the value of a dollar, but it plummeted to less than 30 cents Wednesday, shaking investors' confidence in the so-called decentralized finance space. So let's get into that. So all of these things start to play a part in what's going on. And we're going to get into, I think the biggest reason for the collapse, as they're saying, was this stable coin. So let's get into what's going on here. Terra, I mean, there's like, we're going to talk about three major stable coins. So right now, stable coin in the crypto market is essentially a coin that's pegged to a currency. In this case, in most cases of these stable coins, it's pegged to the dollar. So what does that mean? It means that, you know, if you have one stable coin of a Tether or USD or UST, right, previously to this week, they should always be at a dollar. So if let's say you're trading your crypto and you're seeing, okay, you know what, Ether or Bitcoin or Shiba or Doge or you know, Mana, whatever coins you have, right? Let's say that you like, you know, they're a little bit volatile right now, but I don't necessarily want to cash out totally into fiat, which they call like regular money. I want to just still keep it in the blockchain space, but I want to put it in some sort of stable coins. It's used for that a lot, and then obviously you can do remittances and transfers relatively easier using this because it's pegged to a dollar. So that's been like a backbone. I mean, that's why it's called stablecoin. So this is you know, it's one particular. So in terms of the Terra USD or USTD, right? It's been dragged into the spotlight. Let's talk about how it works. So UST is that's the Terra USD is an algorithmic stablecoin which uses code to maintain its price at around a dollar based on a complex system of minting and burning. The UST token is created by destroying some related cryptocurrency, Luna, to maintain its dollar peg. So Terra owns UST and Luna. We're going to get into why that's kind of important and what happened. So remind you, it's an algorithmic, you know, type of it's code that maintains that. Unlike rival stable coins, Tether and USD coin, UST is not backed by any real world assets such as bonds. Instead, the Luna Foundation Guard, a nonprofit created by Terra's founder Duquan, is holding about 3.5 billion in Bitcoin in reserve. So they're also saying it's pegged has been so let's think about that. Terra's not, unlike Tether or USD, it's not backed by any real world assets, but they are holding 3.5 billion in Bitcoin reserve. So essentially, it looks like what happened in their sister coin Luna's price was at $85 a week ago. It's now at 4 cents. So when there was volatility in the Terra coin, and those words, so Terra and Tether, two different stable coins. I guess as the volatility increased, there was concerns that, you know, this 3.5 billion of Bitcoin reserves could be dumped. And let's see what this is saying right here. It could be dumped. And then, you know, essentially investors started to sell their Luna coin. And when that sell happened, the Luna coin went from $85 to 4 cents. And also the stable coin Terra went from $1, which it should be stable, down to 17 cents, as you can see. Right earlier today, it was at 17 cents. So huge instability. And that's, for a stable coin to go from $1, and a lot of people lost money. And obviously, to go a coin to drop from $85 to 4 cents, it totally wipes out a lot. Let me just read what they said right here. On Thursday, Binance, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges, said that the Terra network, the blockchain associated with the Luna token, is experiencing slowness and congestion. Binance said was a result. There's high volume of pending Terra network withdrawal transaction on its exchange. It's a sign that investors are rushing to sell Luna. So everyone who had the Luna coin, obviously, they're rushing to sell it. Yeah, so this is an important part too. The Terra controversy has sparked contagion in the broader cryptocurrency market. That's because the Luna Foundation Guard is holding Bitcoin as a sort of reserve. The fear is now that the organization may have to sell off its Bitcoin holdings to try to support the peg. So Bitcoin plunged more than 29% in the last 7 days. On a Thursday, dropped below 26,000. Mind you, it was like a year ago, so it was at 68,000. So it's a huge drop off. Right now, from the 26,000 today, earlier this morning, it started to make a rise. It's at 30,000, and also Ethereum's at 21. It's important to note that this Terra also impacted the Tether, not to be confused. Early on, like we said, we were talking about three coins. Let me go back to this one slide. The Tether coin dropped to like in the like 95 cents. They're back up now. They're like 99.89. So they're 0.9989 cents. So they're pretty much at the dollar. It doesn't seem like the USD coin was impacted. That stable coin was impacted. Tether has the largest market share in terms of stable coin. So look, it's a lot. I said, if you have any questions, please chat them. It's a lot going on with this crypto market. So basically, Luna, that 85 to 4 cents. Ooh, you were holding a lot of Luna. That must hurt. The Terra coin, it was at 32. Then it was at 17. So it's pretty much impacted the market. But it looks like the market's we're seeing some rise today as opposed to what's happened yesterday. All right, I'm gonna pause because that was a lot, and I know with this type of market volatility, a lot of people, obviously, from retail investors are probably getting scared. There's probably been a lot of sell-offs and concerns with your with funds, right? Because you just saw things dropping to massive lows. But understand, right? I mean, if it's same thing with stocks, right? Things drop, and unless you sell it, that's when you realize the loss, right? So you haven't sold me, it's one of those things. Hopefully it'll come back, but same concept. We saw it on the tech side. A lot of tech stocks and stuff like that dropped as well. So a lot of market volatility. Okay, moving on to the next article I want to talk about, which is very interesting. So craziness has been happening in London. It's like, for people holding crypto, there's been reports of actual crypto mugging, strong arm tactics. Essentially, okay, we talk about different cyber criminals getting access to accounts and siphoning funds, and it's going elsewhere. No, this is old school tactics for a new technology. Essentially, running up on people and through violence, getting access to their cell phone and getting them to input, whether it's a fingerprint, facial recognition, and getting access to their crypto accounts, and then transferring it to their wallet. So, it's just, I mean, you think about it, let's say you're sitting on. I'm going to talk about some stories, some use cases that happen. But let's say that you have access to thousands of dollars worth in crypto on your cell phone, and you're walking around with your app, right? You're literally walking around with access to, thousands on your phone. And with crypto transactions, once it's transferred to another wallet, that it's basically a done deal. It's not like you can revert that. You can follow it though. It can be followed because it's public. But so without further ado, let's jump into some of the things that have been reported that has happened. So in one case, right, this has happened in London, right? So in one case, a man was approached by a group of people offering to sell him cocaine, right? So you already know what type of party this is, and agreed to go down an alley with them to do the deal. The men offered to type a number into his phone, but instead access his cryptocurrency account, holding him against a wall and forcing him to unlock the phone app with facial verification. They transferred 6,000 worth of Ripple to another to out of his account. So Ripple is another crypto they got access to. Another victim reported that they had been trying to order an Uber near London's Liverpool Street station when muggers forced him to hand over the phone. While the gang eventually gave the phone back, the victim later realized that 5,000 worth of Ethereum digital currency was missing from their account with the crypto investing platform Coinbase. So in this case, he had a Coinbase app on his phone. The thieves got access to his phone and access to his account and transferred 5,000 worth of Ethereum out. A third victim said that he had been vomited under a bridge when a mugger forced him to unlock his phone using a fingerprint, then changed his security settings and stole 28,700 pounds, including cryptocurrency. So, a student in Kent claimed last year that 8 people stormed his university accommodation and forced him to transfer 68 pounds of Bitcoin at knife point. Later last year, an American technology entrepreneur, Zarin Denzel, told police that he had been attacked at a home in Madrid by masked thieves. He said they tortured him with a knife and a stun gun before disappearing with millions of euros in Bitcoin. Yeah, I know. A comment from the audience. Wow. Yep. Definitely wow. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, because we're gonna talk about some safety precautions that can be made, right? But understand, right? Like, listen, once again, even though this is new, technology, only a small percentage of the people in the world really, more people are getting into crypto, but not like it's not totally ubiquitous yet, but everyone has it. But it's high tech, but the crimes that we just talked about are extremely low tech. These are crimes that have been going on for hundreds of years, strong arm robberies. But at the end of the day, right? What can you do to protect yourself? That's what you really want to. That's what we really want to talk about, right? Um, one quote. So a 23-year veteran, Mr. Griggs, 23-year veteran from the FBI, now works for Public Sector Chief Technology Officer at Chain Analysis, which helps government agencies and financial institutions track movements of digital currency. He said the nature of cryptocurrency, where transactions are locked on the blockchain meant police should, in theory, be able to track stolen crypto. Which is true. To transfer stolen assets, they have to provide a wallet address, and most likely they'll use that wallet address again in the future. You also need to bring it to an exchange if you want to turn it into fiat currency, meaning the money. So it creates a digital paper trail for investigators. But the problem is, he said they were less likely to have. So, these, when you hear about these multi-million-dollar ransomware being paid and all of a sudden it's being tracked, these are millions of dollars in resources being put into it. You're talking about thousands for and at the level, from the police level, you don't have the FBI involved at this point. I think, it's less likely to have the resources to pursue the smaller amounts. But it is public, so you can actually see the wallet is going to and watch it over time. So an individual theft on a small amount may not get the attention of the police or large law enforcement agencies. So, what are some tips? All right, so some security tips for your crypto. Number one, not deposit a large amount of crypto in a wallet or exchange application. Only leave a small portion in there. You could have a multi-signature wallet with a policy saying only two signers can move money into the wallet. By doing so, only a small amount of crypto will be lost during the mugging. So let's translate this. So, most people will go and exchange like crypto, not crypto, like, crypto.com is an exchange. Coinbase, Kraken, Bittrex, there's a plethora of them, right? What this tip is saying, don't leave a lot of your funds on the exchange and then transfer it somewhere else, into another wallet. Maybe leave a small portion so that if someone does get access to your phone and transfers, they're not going to have a lot. It's just like same as if you had a bank account and you move money into another bank account. Conceptually, similar. And a multi-signature wallet is just now you need multiple devices basically to sign into that to get approval for that wallet. So it's not just one device that you're using. You could also move. So let's say you have apps on your phone. For Samsung, for instance, they have a secure folder. So you can move maybe some of your banking and crypto apps into the secure folder so that if your phone were to get access, no one would see your the apps like your crypto apps or your exchange apps, right? Because it'll be behind the scenes, so it won't be easily seen. They said Apple iPhones apps can be moved to one page on the home screen and hidden all at once. And there are further options such as removing an individual app from showing on the home screen only to be accessed via search. Another option altogether, right, is get a separate phone. This option is not written down. I'm just talking about this option. Get a separate phone and that you leave at home, right? Maybe that phone is only it's not hooked up, it doesn't have a phone number, it's just Wi-Fi only you use it for, but you have your banking and your crypto apps there, and on the phone you walk around with your day-to-day phone, you don't have anything on that phone. And anything meaning like financial applications on that phone. Therefore, if you were to get into one of these unfortunate situations and someone unlock your phone, they wouldn't have access to your apps. But if you needed to do any transactions or so forth on your phone, you can have it there. You can move your crypto to an offline wallet. So another thing from the article, there's a person that's on Twitter. You can follow him. He's giving some advice. It's called CIA officer underscore CIA. I posted it on the you guys on Instagram are not seeing this, but if you go to the website, you can see it because we have some screenshots and so forth. He gives some tips as well on how to protect yourself. So in his article, CIA officer gives a reminder that mobile wallets like MetaMask are only interfaces and recommends storing all crypto on a cold wallet source such as Ledger or Trezor, as opposed to keeping it on an exchange or in a mobile wallet. The physical storage device will keep all crypto offline, and assets can only be moved if someone has access to the wallet, along with knowing the PIN and in some cases a password. One can even be created using an old smartphone rather than using a dedicated device. So that's similar to what I just mentioned. The crypto stored on a cold wallet can be further security hardened. The CIA officer, that's his tag. I don't know if he's a real CIA officer. Echoes the advice from BlockSec to set up a multi-signature wallet that uses 2 or even 3 separate devices to approve a transaction. So you look that up, multi-sig wallet, pretty known, and things of that. But look, another piece of advice: don't talk about your finances. Right, the same way you wouldn't talk about how much money. Some people do. I don't know. That's not. I never understood the logic for that. maybe because I grew up in pre-gentrified Brooklyn. So, you don't talk about stuff like that. Like so. Okay, here's a question from the audience. After the live, can you please provide that website when you have a chance? Um, which website are you referring to exactly? I could provide the article. What I can do right now, actually, I can provide the article, and then from the article, um, you can get access to the different sites that they talk about. Um, I'll provide the article right now in the chat, so you'll see access. You're not going to see. I don't think it posts on LinkedIn, but you can see. But I'll put it on the screen. All right, so there it goes. I'll put it on the screen right now so you can see what to Google on LinkedIn. So there you go. That's it. All right. Yeah, so look, some common sense is needed. Some of these, no problem at all. Some of these muggings occurred because people are talking, people overhear you at a bar, you're talking about, you know, your finances and different things, and then you get set up, you know. Like I said, like it seems obvious to me. It's why a person wouldn't do these types of things. But like I said, um I grew up I grew up in a yeah yeah. So you just wouldn't do stuff like that back in the days. It just doesn't make any sense. Like it's an 80% chance that you will get set up. So 85% chance at that. It's like almost common sense to me. But listen, some people maybe didn't have that experience, and they're used to talking about how much they're sitting on without anyone scheming to take their stuff. So on that note, besides the technical things you could put in place, multi-sig wallet, having cold storage, having a separate phone, all this stuff. I mean, look, let's just use common sense. Let's not talk about what we're holding. The answer should always be no. Oh, you have crypto? No, I don't know. I find it interesting, but no, it's like someone talking about how much stocks they have. I don't know. I'm not a person who talks about things like that. But that's just me. And I guess we'll leave it at that. So next article we're going to talk about is so this I found very interesting. Costa Rica, to all my people, such a beautiful country when I visited. So Costa Rica, pura vida, pure life. It's like a big thing they say there. But on the security side in Costa Rica, so they declared a state of emergency because of ongoing cybersecurity attacks. So it's so interesting to me because state of emergencies. I mean, we just came out of the pandemic. We just came out of just various things. You see that as a state of emergency. But where we're at right now with society, I mean, the previous article we talked about with the digital current, with everything being digital, a lot of technology being used. A country is declaring a state of emergency because of cybersecurity attack. Let that sink in. How important this stuff is, and on all aspects, from an individual aspect. We just talked about individuals getting robbed. Now I'm talking about a country. So let's get into the article. After a month of crippling ransomware attacks, Costa Rica has declared a state of emergency. In theory, the measure usually was reserved to deal with natural disasters or COVID-19 pandemic that would free up the government to react more nimbly to crisis. President Rodrigo Chavez, who was sworn in Sunday, made the emergency declaration one of his first acts. It was published Wednesday, but Chavez has not named members of the National Emergency Commission. The declaration refers to the attack of Costa Rica suffering at the hands of cyber criminals and cyber terrorists. The Russian-speaking Conti gang has claimed responsibility for the attack. Last week, the U.S. State Department offered 10 million reward for information leading to the identification or location of the Conti leaders. Additionally, the U.S. is offering up to 5 million for information leading to the arrest or conviction of any individual or any country conspiring to participate in or attempting to participate in a Conti variant ransomware incident. So they have a Conti gang and they have a Conti the ransomware, and sometimes criminals leverage this ransomware to do attacks. The attack began in April when the finance ministry was the first to report that a number of its systems were affected, including tax collection and customs. Attacks also targeted the Social Security agencies, human resources systems, and labor ministry. The Costa Rican government has not reported an expansion of the attack, but some systems, especially at the finance ministry, still are not functioning normally. The government has also not made an estimate of the losses by the attack. So the U.S. Really another thing important. The U.S. State Department last week, it said that the Conti group has been responsible for hundreds of ransomware incidents during the past 2 years. The FBI estimates that as of January 2022, there has been over 1,000 victims of attacks associated with Conti ransomware, with victim payouts exceeding 150 million, making the Conti ransomware variant the costliest strain of ransomware ever documented. Pretty interesting stuff. And altogether, they have a 10 million bounty on their head, an additional 5 million. So that's total sum of 15 million for Conti leaders or anyone leveraging that ransomware. Okay, that is it for the articles that we're discussing today. I'll give it a second. Sometimes it's like a few second delay with comments and stuff. So hold up. We'll give it a second if anybody has any questions or you want to chime in. Very interesting stuff going on. Sum it up today. We talked about the BOFA fine on illegal garnishments from the Cfpb. Talked about the crypto market losing 200 billion this week, and as some of the market volatility came at the hands of stablecoin, the TerraUSD, and with their corresponding Luna coin that dropped from $85 to 4 cents. The stablecoin Tether saw a slight dip, but they're back up right now. Talk about strong arm robberies, to individuals from getting their crypto stolen via their cell phone. So once again, listen, just if you invest in crypto, you have this, be cautious, be mindful of your surroundings, take the necessary actions to protect yourself and protect your wealth, right? Gave some context around there. And we also just talked about the Costa Rican state of emergency based on a cyber attack, which you think a state of emergency as natural disaster, and to have one now based on a cyber attack or a string of cyber attacks, man, it just shows how important cybersecurity is, and from all aspects. This is the governmental aspect, but from private sector and also individuals. So that wraps up our show for today. Thank you for joining. Man, seen a lot of people on Instagram join in. Thank you all my guys. So I see a lot of my jiu-jitsu crew has joined. Love these guys. Had some fam join in. Love that. LinkedIn use, I think that's Medina. I think she joined in. So a chat saying thanks. So altogether, thank you very much for the viewership. The comments, always love them. Questions, keep them coming in. Once again, we are the Tech Behind FinTech. Every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we will have our show. Some shows are solo, some shows have guests, different topics we discuss. On that note, I am out. I wish everyone a great and fantastic weekend, and I will catch you next Friday. Cheers.